Tommy Curran was on with Jones and Keefe yesterday on a Tommy Tuesday and had this to say on the Patriots' lack of pursuit of wide receivers.
I completely agree with you. I was thinking that yesterday. What was their plan B at wideout? I don't think it was Devontae Adams. Certainly wasn't going to be T. Higgins. Cooper Kupp, as Diana Rossini reported late Thursday, the Patriots weren't really in on it. Now, I don't know if that was Kupp's decision or the Patriots' decision. Metcalf, they pushed away from the table on. I think you're right that the Chris Godwin money went to Carlton Davis. So that, to me, they were non-starters in terms of conversation at the wide receiver position, which the most important thing to them right now, is making sure that the huddle and atmosphere around Drake May is pristine. They want the most important voice in his ear to be Josh McDaniels, not a wide receiver who just showed up and is going to be here for 2.5 or 3 years, who has his own set of self-interests to serve.
DK Metcalf would have been here, 4 years? Because they would have signed him on a 4-year deal.
Who cares if they're only here for 2 years?
Yeah.
That's the way it works in the NFL. Like, I don't understand this. I don't get it.
All you're doing is this is what you're doing. You're saying, okay, we don't want that guy that could potentially be a issue or in the quarterback's ear saying, hey, Drake, I'm open on this or whatever. You're saying we don't want that guy. We want the guys who don't say nothing, but those guys might not, they're not going to make any plays because you know what you're going to have in 2 years? You're going to have a problem because now you're going to be looking for a new quarterback.
You have those guys anyway. Mm-hmm. They are just not at the same skill level as the guys that you're saying no to.
Right.
You had a guy last season who told you that he has the best hands in the NFL.
Right.
Who was able to catch the ball 5 times.
How good do you think Drake May can be without talent? Like, it's going to be really difficult for him. So do you think if he has no talent against around him this year, do you think he's going to progress or regress?
I don't think he's going to regress.
But if you have no talent, Greg, it's going to be hard for him. He's going to be out there or maybe he's out there running for his life, or he's trying to make a million plays, and he's going to be throwing interceptions because now he's trying to fit balls into skinny windows because he knows I got to put more of this team on my back. You run into those issues with him as a quarterback.
If you're really questioning receivers, I encourage you to look around the league and see what Tyreek Hill did for Patrick Mahomes, Stephon Diggs did for Josh Allen, DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba have done for Geno Smith. Justin Jefferson, what he did for Kirk Cousins, CeeDee Lamb for Dak Prescott, Tyreek and Tua and Jalen Waddle, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, across the league. Every really good quarterback has a really good wide receiver. It kind of comes like that. That's how they get above the fray at quarterback.
A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, what they do for Jalen Hurts.
And outside of Mahomes and Brady, there's nobody that wins Super Bowls without one.
Right. And what's the biggest knock, the biggest problem that he had up until last year? Shout out to my boys, the Eagles.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson and what's his name?
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers. Up until last year, Lamar's biggest knock was he needs a wide receiver, and they never got him one. Then Zay Flowers they draft. He looks like he's pretty good. Unfortunately, he gets hurt. Then they go out and they sign DeAndre Hopkins this year. So every great quarterback, unless you're Brady, but even Brady still had Rob Gronkowski. And then he had, Moss was a short period of time, but he had Gronk, who was a great tight end.
And Mahomes has Kelsey.
And even before that, he also had Tyreek Hill to start his career.
Brady's the only one where you can go, all right, he didn't have that type of wide receiver and was able to do it.
And you can't use that argument anymore, not you, Wiggs, but in general, the one where you can't win with the elite receiver. Tyreek Hill won a Super Bowl. Stafford's been good. He was great with OBJ. OBJ would have been the MVP of that Super Bowl if he didn't get hurt in the first half.
But he also had Cooper Kupp.
Right, he has Cooper Kupp. All these guys. But if you want to say Cooper Kupp's more of a
A.J. Brown.
Right, A.J. Brown just did it. He was making an issue on the sideline. 2 minutes later, he catches a 60-yard touchdown. It's just the game's changed. You need those guys.
What's next, Shime?
Next, let's go over to the NBA. One of the most important pieces for the Boston Celtics as they gear up for the playoffs would be the health of Kristaps Porzingis, who played really well last night. We can hear from Porzingis and how he's feeling after last night's game.
Feeling all right. Feeling a little bit better with each day, I would say. Energy is going back up. Yeah, but still, for sure, working my way back into to the best shape.
Love it.
I'll take it.
Love it. You got him healthy, and you're like, I wish the playoffs would start. Like, let's go. Like,
I think it's like 15 more games,
Yeah,
so they got a nice little road run here. So you get through that. And
all right, is that it, Chime?
One more quick one for you, is if you want. The hero though from last night's game, Baylor Shireman, talked about how Boston has quite possibly the best environment he's ever been in.
Probably, top 3 environment I've ever been a part of, and obviously I played in a lot of big, games, and so it's just special, and that's obviously what makes Boston, so elite, and the best sports, town in the country, best city in the country.
Here.
Yeah.
Good job.
I will say one thing about the Celtics. I saw early this morning on Twitch somebody write in that they spent a lot of money on their ticket last night to not see the Jays play. So Greg always brings that up, and that is something that people still get upset about.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the NBA.
Right.
General,
and at this point of the season, it's like, what do you expect?
Yep.
Yeah, I understand that argument, and I do. But I think you have to be aware that if you're going, you may not see the superstars that you want to see in the NBA. It's
You have to look at it and compare it.
They should do a cheaper ticket for load management nights. Like, they should call it load management night.
No, they should.
And it's a half price ticket.
But you got to look at it. You got to look at it how it would be like if your team was good in the NFL and you went to a week, 16 or 17 game.
Yeah.
You might not see those guys. This is their week 16, 17.
Okay, they said it. Quick back and forth on what they said yesterday. Reminder that you can watch this show every day, either on YouTube or on Twitch, and it is brought to you every single day on Twitch by Springer's Jewelers. There are 3 locations you can visit: tax-free Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Portland, Maine, and Bath, Maine. Visit springersjewelers.com. And Terp running the pitch show this morning.
Yes.
See what happens?
I did not know that. I did see Terp come in early.
Yep. Twitch Mitch announced to me yesterday he is flexing the next 4 days.
Wow.
So
First time he's ever flexed. Ever since he started with us, ever.
It's a trickle-down effect, right?
It is.
Trickle-down effect.
Yep.
Trickle-down effect.
Oh, you're
They
unbelievable.
look around. Oh, they're taking off.
Right.
They're flexing.
See, that's
He's
what happens.
flexing.
People go, well,
She's flexing.
oh, Courtney's off to Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, Shime is off to
She
Florida.
took off 2 days. He
Oh,
took
Curtis
off.
is working remotely.
I hate flex days.
Yeah.
You know what?
I just didn't know that Wiggy was such like a Gestapo,
No, I'm not.
You really are.
No, I'm just saying for my fearless leader, Courtney, the one who sits here and
What
says...
am I supposed to say? Mitch says, I got a bachelor party and a wedding that I have to go to. So what am I supposed to say?
I just can't wait for Wiggy's next day off
Right.
because I am just going to just talk only about that.
My next day off might be when we're all off because that's the type of work that I'm
Well,
putting
that's
in.
a decision you make.
Courtney.
That sounds very sad.
Greg
I'm sorry that you haven't...
No. Greg's our leader. He sits here and he criticizes, and you always get on his case. Oh, you're a boomer this, you're a boomer that. He criticizes.
I'm keeping it 100.
He criticizes people who don't go into work, use all these flex days and remote, and then.
And when I'm here on those days when you take vacation, what are you going to say? He
allows his staff.
He just doesn't listen to you.
No, it doesn't care.
He allows his staff to do the same thing.
Yeah, but Shime works a million weekends. So what are we talking about?
So I worked every weekend for
you
the
did
last
4
8
years ago.
Right.
Yeah,
we're still talking about the Sunday football show from when I started. The first season I was here. That was 3 years ago.
Last year was the only year I didn't do Sunday football.
No.
No, yes, it was.
No.
You want go ask Ken.
I will.
It was the last year was the only year I didn't do Sunday football.
Right. The year prior, you called in driving to your.
And all I said
to do your 3 keys.
The year prior, you called in.
Yeah.
Right.
You said keep
while
it at
driving
100.
to Gillette on a bad AAF phone.
Right.
No, I always have a
you
good
said,
phone.
all right, guys, now we got to win the turnover battle.
Yes.
Got to protect the quarterback.
Here's my 3 keys. Now, Now, here are 3 keys to success.
Courtney, you said keeping it
Yeah,
100.
this is going to be one sentence, so don't stop.
Number one,
keeping it
number
100.
one, ball control. Now, hang on
Greg,
to
you're
the
soft.
ball.
Greg, you done got
Greg's
soft.
not soft. And all the people on Twitch like, well, I work, a million hours a week. Well, that's what you decided to do with your life.
I'm going to text LB, Shu, Danielle, and see if Greg hasn't got soft.
Okay, I'm soft.